Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jumpin here. This is going to be a Mass Effect 3 gameplay commentary. Today I'm going to be using the Geth Engineer, which is one of the new characters, and definitely amazing new character. He's a lot of fun, but first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to be playing in this gameplay with it's going to be three of us, and it's going to be three Geth. And I highly recommend if you want to have a lot of fun, try out 4 Geths, 2 Geth Infiltrators, and 2 Geth Engineers, and you'll have a blast. Because they are such a good team. Like, just a team of pure Geth is probably the best way to go with this guy. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the powers though. Alright, to start this off, I'm going to talk about the Geth turret. Now this thing is really, really good for healing your teammates. That's really kind of the purpose, in my opinion, for it. For the Geth in general, I'll get into it, but Alright, now for your first option, you're going to have between shields and damage, and then you're going to have shields and damage, and then shields restored. I'm gonna go for shields and damage for the first one, just because it does increase the shields up to 1700 and the damage up a little bit too, which in my opinion I think that might be a little nice, just because as you can tell it does a lot of damage and it will stay alive longer to help heal your teammates. Now for the second option, I totally recommend restore range. I do not think armor damage is that useful, but restore range really is. It's going to increase the range of the heal and also bring it up to 525. That means 525 shields every time it heals. Now if you went for the first option, which was also shields restore, the total maximum shields it can heal is 700, which that's pretty nice too. But I just really think that extra damage, and the shields might be a little bit better, but it's totally up to you guys if you want to try. Now for the last two options, you're going to have flamethrower, which of course is really good. If you played with the sentry turret, you probably should know this by now. But for this thing, I really think that this one is a lot better. Restore frequency. It's the thing this does is that it's going to make it so it will heal more often, 60% more often. So that's a big boost. And it's going to really help out your whole team, you and your team. Alright, now for hunter mode, I highly recommend don't even put any points into it for real. For the engineer, I don't really think it's necessary. For the infiltrator, yes, but not for the engineer. Alright, now coming up to the overload, it's pretty standard. Chain overload, recharge speed, and then shield damage. And as you can tell, the Geth do a lot of damage with their overload. So the shield damage is really nice. Alright, now for the Neckward AI, this is pretty much just going to be all power damage, damage and capacity, and power damage. Now if you were going to just totally skip hunter mode, you could pretty much pick between one of these two, depending on what you want to use. If it was a heavy sniper rifle, you should probably go for sniper rifle and assault rifle. But also the weapons damage is nice too, because it gives you a plus 15%. Now for your fitness, I highly recommend for the engineer pretty much all shields. Maybe martial artists if you really wanted to get that, because their melees are amazing. The Geth has probably the best melee in the game. But now if you were going to use the infiltrator, the biggest difference is that what I recommend is going for melee damage, martial artist, and then fitness expert for the infiltrator. And I can do an infiltrator build once I unlock him. I have yet to unlock him, but a couple of my buddies have him, and I've told them what I thought they should do, and we've been trying it, and it's been really broken. Alright, so next up, I'm just going to show you the weapon. It's going to be the Geth Plasma Shotgun. Definitely probably the best weapon in the whole game. I said that before in previous videos. You never got to see me use this gun before though, so this will be the first time. I'm going to be using the Shredder mod, which is it's kind of broken in a way. It doesn't really work against Guardians all the time, but in general it is really, it does do more damage to armor. Now for the video, I'm going to be using equipment. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using. Warp Ammo 3, Shotgun Railing 3, and then the final one, which I do highly recommend, will be the Shield Booster 3. Because this guy has really low health. He's like the opposite of a Drell. Low health but high shields, where the Drells have high health and low shields. So, in this sense, I really highly recommend this, because, once you go down in your health, you will die very quickly with the Geth. Alright, so that's going to be pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Alright, so today we're going to be playing as Cerberus, and it's going to be on Firebase Giant. It's going to be silver, but, I probably will upload a gold run with the Geth. Probably a full squad of Geth as well. Because, yeah, they can be really, really good in a team of 4. And like I told you before, the best would be 2 Geth Infiltrators. Now, I can tell you a little bit about the build, even though I can't show it to you yet. But the main thing about the Geth Infiltrator is he's hands down, like one of the best melee characters in the whole game. What you would want to do with him is that for your tactical cloak, you would go for extra melee damage, and then for your fitness, you would go, like I said, melee damage, martial artist, and then probably I would recommend fitness expert, because they do need that little bit of boost to their shields and health to keep them alive, especially for gold. So that's what I would recommend. And you know, as you can tell right away, like this Geth plasma shotgun is a beast. Now of course you can charge this gun up. I'm not really a big fan of charging a gun up, because you know, as you can tell, this thing practically kills or just kills in one shot 90% of the time. That's even on gold. Like this gun can really do a lot of damage on gold. Charging it up, you know, I don't really find it to be that necessary. Unfortunately, immediately wave 1, our infiltrator, which is standby, actually got stomped out, which was kind of a shame. But you know, you really will see some awesome stuff in this video with the Geth melees and stuff, because like the thing about the Geth is that, like I said, in a squad, what you can do with the squad of the 2 engineers is you can, you know, pretty much, let's say you see a phantom, the 2 engineers can overload to try to take its barrier down as much as possible, and then once it's down, everybody can run up and melee it, and it will like pretty much instantly die, and it can't avoid it because it's like, I don't know, like I don't know what they were thinking. It reminds me of Armor Lock from Halo. But yeah, it's like an amazing power. Now, you know, it drains your shield as you go with it, but you know, that's really not a big deal too much. I mean, it can get you killed sometimes, but the secret is that with this Geth turret, like this Geth turret is amazing with that. Like let's say you see a Atlas or a big enemy and you want to do a quad melee on it. The 2 engineers can actually throw out the turret next to the Atlas, and then, like, you know, once this, let's say it gets down to its armor, everybody can run up and start meleeing it, and then once, you know, everybody starts meleeing, the turrets will heal pretty much everybody. And in that process, like, you'll just freaking get, like, you know, it dies so quick. One thing I really like about this map, this giant map, is that grabbing enemies on this map is extremely easy. There's a lot of these little covers, and almost all of them can actually, and that was a pretty nice little shot right there. But you know, all these covers you can pretty much get grabs on, and the enemies will constantly hide behind the covers. So it's a really, really nice and good thing that you can do on this map, you know. But you will see, like, now here's the difference between the engineer and the infiltrator. Is the infiltrator can actually kill pretty much everything, or at least let's say an assault trooper. You know, he can kill an assault trooper in one melee. Just one pulse of the melee will kill. Where the engineer takes 2. Now the phantom, if the phantom gets overloaded once again, like just one overload on a phantom, the infiltrator can literally kill it one hit, and that comes from the 50% more damage, melee damage, when he's cloaked. And now this is ridiculous. Now hold on, you gotta see this. It's really funny. You know, sometimes on this map they will get a glitch down there, and that was a really terrible glitch, because, you know, normally you need a grenade or something to knock them out. You know, you can be screwed. But I'm actually gonna get a really awesome Geth turret, like off the wall as it's falling. It shot him, and if you hit him once, if you can shoot him once, they'll fall off the cliff or they'll jump up. So that was really awesome and pretty nice. We were all laughing really hard right there when that happened. But anyway, like I was saying, like the infiltrator is definitely a melee infiltrator. Now I don't know if anyone's ever watched my, well, you probably never have if you're a newer fan. But when the demo first came out, I talked about how the infiltrator can be set up to be like an extremely good melee character. And in general, yeah, that is very possible. Like you can actually have, like, the infiltrators in general, like this, let's say the Solarian infiltrator, can literally be one of the best melee characters if you just go for all melee damage and the cloak melee damage. And you just cloak and you run up and you melee things, you'll kill like almost everything in like one hit, even on gold. You know, and martial artist is definitely amazing. Now the thing that makes the Geth infiltrator such a good melee character is the martial artist. What you can do is that, you know, you come up and you just hit them with the you know, you hit them with the heavy melee. Let's say there's a group of 3 enemies. You hit them with the heavy melee. One of them dies, and then once that one dies, you're gonna have 75% more melee damage for the rest, and you'll just kill all them instantly, pretty much. You know. Now the best thing about the Geth engineer, though, because obviously you guys are watching the Geth engineer, I'm sure you're interested about that. But the one thing about the Geth engineer that's really, really good is the fact that he gets overload. I mean, any character in this game with Overload, the Turian Sentinel, the Human Engineer, those are like some of the, those are some of the best characters in the whole game. Just because it stuns and it's just a great power. Now that right there was kind of like, sometimes you will fail trying to get grabs, and I fail all the time trying to get them, but I go for them non-stop. Now you might have just seen me like what I did, and you'll see that throughout the gameplay. Is that if I'm about to die or if I lose my shield, I'll take cover behind a wall, and I'll throw out the turret like, kind of behind the wall. The secret to that is that if you throw down the turret behind a wall, it can't really take the time to shoot enemies. Because when it's shooting enemies, it won't really be focusing on healing like you and your squad mates. So if you throw it behind a wall where it can't shoot an enemy, it really has no choice but to just heal you. And it will really, it really will save your life at times, and it really will help your team out a lot. Like right here, like once like the three of us like really gets like onto the whole like let's go ahead and melee stuff, it becomes epic. I mean, there can be a group of 10 enemies and we can literally wipe out like, well, it's probably not 10 enemies because there's normally never a group that large. But, in general, if there was a group that large, we literally could wipe out, like, all 10 of them, like, almost instantly if we decided all three to run up in melee. An overload from the engineers will help a lot. And that was an epic fail as well right there. Like I said, as long as you could just kind of get away from it. I like the dodge on the Geth. Thank God he has a roll. I'm happy that they did that. Like, I don't understand why the Batarians don't have rolls, but the Geth do. So, I think it would make more sense that the Geth couldn't, like, roll and stuff. But the Batarians maybe could. Like, that's just how I feel. But, it is a good thing they gave it to him because, he does have the Quarian, the Quarian roll and the Solarian roll, which is probably... I really like the sidestep. I think it's probably one of the best, like, dodge moves in the entire game. And it's really nice that they gave it to him. So yeah, I mean the Geth in general are some of the best, some of the best characters. But like I said, they're definitely like the two people who if you're gonna use them, like you definitely want to use a group of at least 2 Geth, maybe 1 engineer, 1 infiltrator, or even a group of 4. If you have some buddies and you guys have unlocked the Geth, just figure it out and you'll have a blast. I mean, on gold, on silver, it don't matter. Like, it is just really good. Like, being able to just work together and run up and armor lock pretty much all the enemies to death. It's just way too much fun. But, the biggest downside to the Geth, though, there is one big downside, is that they do die very quickly. Like I said before, if you lose your shield, you pretty much can just instantly die. And, that sucks. Like, that really will suck when that happens, but... if you play smart enough, you won't have too much of an issue with it. Now, if you just run around and just try to melee, you might get dropped a lot. But if you, work together to pull off these melees, then, you'll have a lot more success than just trying to do it by yourself. Because getting in close is just not a good idea with a guy who dies easily. Like, that's a problem with the drill. Like, one of my buddies yesterday, we were playing and he was getting like really like frustrated because he's playing as a Drell, but he was trying to play it like a Krogan, he's just running around like rushing, and he was getting dropped. And yeah, I didn't even say anything to him because it's just like, yo man, you're playing as a Drell, like you're gonna die a lot if you rush. It's just what it is. Like, just kind of like that's the biggest downside of the Drell Vanguard. The Drell Vanguard's a pretty good character, don't get me wrong, but he can die a lot because he rushes. Like the closer you are to the enemies, the more chance you're going to have for them to kill you. And that's the biggest downside to the melee. But like I said, you won't have too much problems if you can have multiple Geth doing the melee, because everything will just constantly get hit, everything, and it stuns them too. That's the other really broken thing it does. And like when the Phantoms come, you'll really see that. Like I said, I'll probably go ahead and put out a gold gameplay with this character. I'll probably get it sometime tonight. This, like I said, my system I'm going to be pretty much doing for these new characters is I'm going to be releasing a silver, showing off the characters, showing off the build. And if I get a gold gameplay that I feel like I want to post, I'll probably, post it and share it with you guys so you could see that, I'm not lying, that, this will work on gold. This can work on gold and stuff, and it's just fun. Like, I really do feel that Geth are like super fun to play with, and I can't wait to get the infiltrator because like that's probably going to be my favorite one. Only I like the engineer a lot. Like I said, anything I like all the characters in the game with overload. It's just such a good power. But like in general, I would be more the type to just want to be like have the mass melee and just being able to. I mean, like with the infiltrator, you can pick up like a triple kill in like 2 seconds. You know, just run up to a group of 3 of them and then boom, boom, 2 pulses, they're all dead. Like especially if you have the engineers like overloading them for you too, you know, helping you out because you know that's what makes it amazing. Like it really does. Right here, we're gonna get together in a giant. I guess circle jerk, pretty much, which is pretty awesome. But you know, now the one thing about hunter mode I really don't like, and I will talk about it for for Geth in general, because obviously the infiltrators and the engineer, they both get hunter mode. Now the thing I don't like about it is that it's kind of good because it's like a armor in a way. Like I guess that's the best way to put it. And right here, this is gonna be pretty epic. We're gonna all get on the Atlas, and as you can see, like we just wreck it. But yeah, like I was saying, it's a permanent buff that you can put on. It's gonna give you more weapons damage, higher rate of fire if you go for that, more accuracy, more movement speed. But yeah, it halves your shield. Now that is the problem with it, is that if you're gonna go for like the melee build of the infiltrator, I kind of been thinking, I'm not too sure about this yet, but what I was thinking is I might go for proximity mine on that build and avoid hunter mode. Because here's the thing, guys, is that if you, and right here, this is what I'm talking about, get behind cover, put out the turret, and it will kind of help you stay alive. But, here's the thing, guys, though, is that if you are running around with half shields, now I don't care how much of a buff you get, it really, to me, won't matter much if you will get dropped a lot, If you're dead, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to help your teammates out. You're not going to be able to, kill the enemies because you're dead. And, it's not going to benefit anyone. So anything in the game that will, have you die, like hunter mode will definitely, especially on gold, you'll get dropped very quickly. This guy has no health. Like, the Geth has no health. And they greatly rely on their shields. So hunter mode will, make it so that your shields won't, you'll have no health and no shields really, and that's just something that you want to maybe avoid. I don't know yet. Like I said, I haven't played as the infiltrator. I don't recommend it for the engineer, but in general, I don't know. I think the infiltrator, I might not recommend it for that either, because you could probably do a lot of work with the proximity mine and just the melee if you wanted to do that. It's just what it is, guys. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people love hunter mode, but it is nice. Like, it lets you see through smoke. It gives you infrared. It really highlights the targets for you. It does a lot of good things, but in general, like I said, if it's gonna let you die, that's what I was talking about with the Batarian, like the blade armor. The blade armor is cool. Like, it's my buddy was telling me he loves it and he's been using it, and I believe him. I definitely believe him. I think that for him it's pretty awesome, but in general, I wouldn't want to run around and let enemies melee me, because you'll get assassinated or you'll die, or all this kind of stuff like that. I just wouldn't want that to happen. Because then you're gonna kind of be useless if you get dropped. I mean, nobody. The truth is this: is that if you run around and you die a lot, at first your teammates might run around and help you up, but after a while, if you're just one of those people who run around and you can't, you don't learn from your mistakes that maybe you shouldn't be running around because you're getting dropped. Your teammates really won't go out their way to get you, and that's what I was talking about with the Drell, is that if you're running around with a Drell and you're getting dropped the whole time because you're rushing, you need to learn that, hey, you cannot do that. That is not what you need to do as a Drell. You need to play a little bit smart, especially as an adapt. You need to play a little bit smart, play a little bit further back, and just this is what it is. Because if you're playing on a bigger map like this map or Dagger, if you go down really far away, your teammates have to go really far out their way to get you up, and and that's just not gonna happen. Now this is gonna be pretty sick. On this map, you really can spawn kill the heck out of the enemies. when they come up like the sides like this, especially in the upload rounds where their spawns are pretty much forced from the one side. And like as you can see, we have the 2 Geth turrets sitting there healing us the whole time. Like it's like I said, there's some really cool stuff you can do with these Geth, and they're a lot of fun to play with. That is for sure. You know, it can maybe, you know, freshen up the game a little bit if you're bored at all, like with any other, like, you know, I don't know. Krogan Vanguard is still probably like my favorite right now because he's just such a monster. He just does not die. He just kills everything with melees. And right there, that was another good example. You can also do that little motion that I just did, like that really fast pulse. Like you can actually just hold tap. I don't know how to explain it right, but that's how I would explain it. It's holding and tapping the button at the same time. And if you do that, like, yeah, it's really, really good. And as you can tell, this Geth Plasma Shotgun is freaking ridiculous. Like, you know, on an infiltrator or not on an infiltrator, on any character, this gun is amazing. Now I have it at 10, and I'm sure a lot of people might not, but although I hear a lot of, you know, most people I've seen comment on my videos, and also a lot of my friends, they all have got this gun to 10 very quickly. Like this is a gun that seems like for a gold is one of the more common golds that you do get. But yeah, you know, this gun is really good. It's I don't know, it's definitely the best shotgun in the game, and it's probably the best weapon for the most part, for just everything it does. Against phantoms, it will stun phantoms. Like, that's freaking crazy. Like, you know, you see a phantom, you can overload it, shoot it once, it will get stunned, and then, you know, it's stunned, it can't move. You shoot it again, and it dies. Alright, so this is going to start the waves with the phantoms, and right away, we're going to go ahead and show you, you know, when we get a chance, like, what I was talking about with the triple mate. Now, you know, I could be shotgunning these chicks, and that would kill them really quickly, too, but here we go. Like, boom. Like, you know, instantly, the phantom is dead. One overload, and then if everyone gets on it with a melee, there's no chance. Like, there's absolutely no chance that the phantom can do anything. It's just what it is, guys. It's freaking awesome. And in the rest of the wave, like, actually, I think Standby, who is the infiltrator, is actually going to kill the rest of the phantoms by himself, because I don't even see a phantom the rest of the game, so, or well, the rest of the round. So that's pretty much like what's up. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and, you know, like, I already got, like, I'm pretty positive I got my 15 melee kills, my 5 grabs. You should try to always get those if possible. You know, with this guy, that's the nice thing. Now, one of the things I did want to say about this Geth Plasma Shotgun I really do not like is that you cannot get headshots with this gun. And that's kind of a downside, because if you want to go for the maximum amount of, like, experience or points or whatever, you really do need to try to get as many medals as possible. So this guy is good because, you know, you can't get, you know, that's one of the things that you'll never get most of the time is the 15 melee kills. You know, because, you know, getting the melee kills can be kind of risky. But, you know, in general, though, with this guy, you know, you can easily get the 15 melee kills. But, you know, getting the 20 headshots will also help a lot for getting more points. You know, it's just up to you guys. Like, if I don't know if everybody cares about points, but, you know, at least for me. And that was really stupid of me. I should not have done that. I should have probably even got myself up because that was a little risky for, you know, me to do that. But, you know, as you can tell, even though I went down, even though, like, all that happened, like, yeah, like, they were able to run in the room and just double melee, and that phantom instantly got killed, and everything else around it got killed, too. Now, right here, I accidentally fell on the ladder, and I was like, oh, no. And I'm going to get dropped in a very awkward position, but they're able to pretty much just double melee the Atlas to death. You know, as you can tell, like, that melee really does do a lot of wonders for any big enemy. And then when I get revived, I'm going to actually be on the bottom, which sucks. But, you know, I'm still going to be able to pretty much just kill the phantom. And, you know, like, for even without the fitness, like, it takes 3 pulses from this guy to kill a phantom. That's still really good. And like I said, for the infiltrator, it literally takes like 1. Once it's down to its health, it's like 1 pulse, and that thing's dead. And if you had 2 infiltrators, like on like a group of 2 or 3 of them on gold, you'll be doing some work. Like, it's just what it is, guys. All right. You know, the thing about this shotgun is this shotgun has infinite range. The way it works is that, and what's freaking crazy about this shotgun is that, you know, like, alright, what happens is this, is that when you use the shotgun, like, if you get, like, a red reticle, and you'll only really notice this when you fight Geth, to be quite honest. But when you get the red reticle on them, what will happen is that like it will like pretty much home into them. Like it's really crazy. Like the bullets, like there's a shotgun, so there's spread to it. But if it's red, it will actually just like home in and like just hit them with all 3 of the bullets, and it just does so much damage. And that's what makes this thing like so ridiculous. I mean, this gun is just super ridiculous. Another quick tip I forgot to bring up is something you can do with this guy. Is that, let's say like there's an enemy on you, if you just do like the quick little like melee, like let's say just 1 pulse of the melee, it will stun the guy and get him off of you, and then you can just shotgun him or shoot him or whatever you're gonna use with him. Now I know a lot of people might be wondering like, hey, Jumpin', like why haven't you been using any of the new weapons? And that's because I really hate all the new weapons. I think they're all pretty freaking trash. You guys can leave a comment and let me know what you think of them, and do you like them? But all right, here's how it goes for me though. This is how I feel about them. Is that all right? The Geth SMG, now it has like 1 billion bullets. It shoots like I don't know, 1,000 bullets every second. It's really ridiculous overall, but like it just doesn't do any damage. I mean, it really doesn't. I'm gonna get dropped right here. Like I said, this guy dies really easily. But just gotta be careful. But Standby is gonna be able to just murk everything with the melee. But anyway, yeah, guys. Here's what it is, though. Is like I said, so the Geth SMG, I don't like it. Just doesn't do enough damage. It just I don't know. I don't like it because of that. Like if you're gonna use an SMG, I still highly recommend the Hornet. Just in general. And I actually Standby was using the Hornet this game, and he told me that in Hunter mode, he was able to not have really any recoil with it, so that's pretty cool. Like I don't know if that's totally accurate. I haven't seen it myself, but that's what he said. So I'm just putting that out there to you guys if you wanted to try that. Anyway, but all right, so that's the Geth SMG. Now for the Striker assault rifle, which is the Krogan assault rifle, that gun, it seems like honestly out of all of them, that one seems like it has the most potential to be good. The only downside is, once again, like I don't know, I've used it and I just didn't like it. I mean, I could kill things way faster with like a Vindicator than with that thing. So like just because of that, like I don't know, like now the one thing that gun does do really well is that it can stun phantoms and well, phantoms are really the only thing that matters. But like yeah, it can stun phantoms, and that's kind of nice. It's just like the Falcon. Like the Falcon used to be really good before they nerfed it. Now it just shoots way too slow, and the only way you can even get it to shoot, like to have any potential, is on a Turian soldier with marksman. Like that's the only way. But before it got nerfed, it was such a great gun, and I know everybody always is saying, hey, Jumpin', you should use the Falcon, you should use the Falcon, but I won't use it. Like to me it's literally pointless on any character but a Turian soldier. And I'm kind of just set in my ways with the Turian soldier. I pretty much just run around with the Hornet when I use that guy. But yeah. Alright, and then finally, what was the last gun? I mean, the harpoon gun. I haven't even played that gun yet, but I don't know. Like I can't even judge that one yet. Honestly, I haven't played with it, but I've had a couple friends tell me they thought it was pretty bad. So I don't know. You guys, like I said, leave a comment and tell me what you think about the new weapons, and do you guys really want to see the new weapons? Because I am down to use them if you guys will comment about it, and also just let me know. That's just how I am. Like if I'll do anything for anybody who watches these videos if they're curious. But it's just what you have to be the one who will let me know like what you want and stuff. Alright, anyway, this is wave 10. We have these stupid upload devices things. Now, one thing I did also want to bring up about the Geth is that I really don't understand why they chose the voice that they did to play like the Geth for the multiplayer. Because, I mean, it doesn't really sound like... The only Geth that really ever talked was Legion. And, they probably just couldn't get him to come aboard, or whoever plays that guy's voice. They probably couldn't get him to come for the multiplayer voices, but... I really don't like the voice of the Geth, and that's kind of disappointing because, I mean, I love the shit he says. I mean, don't get me wrong, the shit he says is fucking hilarious. This unit is offline, just shit like that. Like, that's really funny. But, in general, like, I just wish they could have maybe got Legion to do the voice, or you know, someone who sounded at least more like Legion, because like I said, Legion is the voice of the Geth. It's just what it is. Like, you know, I really don't think until Legion, I don't think you ever got to hear a Geth talk at all. You know, even like little things like you know units down. Like you never in Mass Effect 1. I don't think none of them ever talked. I think they just like roamed and shit. Like if they were gonna die. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, you know, that's one thing that bugs me about the Geth. But you know, I'm not gonna like not use the Geth because I don't like the way the guy sounds. Like that would just be dumb. But there are some people out there who would probably like literally feel that way. And I know how they are because there's a lot of RPG fans or Mass Effect fans that are like really fanatic about that. And I have a couple friends who are like that where. Like I have a friend who will not play as a Drell because he hates the freaking dodge of the Drell. Like he can't stand it. I mean, if you're a Drell and you're dodging around, he gets pissed at you. He's like, "Oh, would you stop doing that?" Like, and because of that, he won't use the Drell. And like same with like a couple of the other like people, like just from their movement or their appearance, he won't use them because he thinks it's dumb. I don't know. It's kind of weird, I guess. But all right, so this is gonna be the 11th wave. I'm going to try to get these 3 kill streaks. I really wanted them just because I'm still only in level 18. I want to get this guy to 19 because at 19 he's going to be really broken and good because that's when you can max out Geth turret. We're pretty much you'll have everything maxed out that you need, that you would want maxed out. That would be, and I don't have my the last thing I need to get right on him is going to be fitness 3 or fitness 6, which is definitely really need it because like I said, he's just a weakling. Like he'll die way too much, and I'm hoping that he'll have maybe about he'll max out at 500 health and maybe like 1300 shields, something like that, 1200 shields at least. That would be pretty nice. But anyway, and as you can tell right there, now that's something else. Like like I said before, it's kind of random with the shredder mod on the Geth Plasma shotgun for Guardians. But right there, I mean, it really looked like I shot that guy through his shield. It could be that what I've noticed before is that sometimes when you shoot him, the spread of this gun is so massive that you'll hit him in the leg and that can kill him. But it doesn't look like I'm hitting in the leg at least. Alright, well anyway guys, like I said, so this is going to be the final wave. We're getting close to the end. I really hoped you enjoyed this video of this Geth. I've been like, my biggest problem with getting some of these gameplays out is that like with this engineer, I was only level, I think I was only level 8 when I started on him. And I had to get him up to 18 before I can get the video out. Same with the Batarian, like I was really low level with my Sentinel, like when I decided I wanted to use them, and same with the Krogan Vanguard, all that stuff is that, leveling these guys up can be kind of a pain, but, I still do have this Batarian Soldier if you guys want to see that, and I also the Justicar, which will probably be the next one. But besides that guys, please comment, please like, please subscribe, and like always, have a nice day.